What is going on, everybody? It is week 1 of college football, and I am absolutely pumped. Yes, sir, indeed. This is the 4th and 1 podcast, anchor.fm/4th and 1, and we are excited. Well, I am anyway. I am very...
You're welcome.
Well, that was Simeon sipping a Capri Sun.
How dare you?
We are very excited for week 1 of college football. We are coming at you from Lidditz, Pennsylvania, as always, the home of the Warriors. It was a great, I would say, successful week of week 0. Got to watch a little bit of college football. Got a little bit of my drug going. Now I'm going to get a full dose this week. In week 1, we got a loaded schedule for you in week 1 today. I'm going to preview what I consider the 5 biggest games, and then I will touch on, because there are a lot of ranked matchups this week. A lot of ranked matchups. And we won't be able to get to every one. We're going to make our picks as always. Simeon's going to give his lock of the week again, and hopefully try to be better than his offer he was last week. San Diego State he guessed the under, and it was not. So I'm sure he has no idea who he's picking for his lock. He's just going to pick it on the fly, because that's how we roll. We are the worstest podcast on the internet. Hello and welcome. I am Micaiah Schlicker. That is Simeon. Shall we get this party started?
I sure think we do. Let's jump straight on in
to the check down.
Oh, yeah, that's me first.
Yeah.
We're off to a great start.
We're off to a great start, ladies and gentlemen.
Week 0 had some interesting matchups, including Scott Frost officially dropping his 13th game as Nebraska's head coach, as Nebraska lost by 8 to the Illinois Fighting Fresno State absolutely blew out Connecticut 45-0, so those Bulldogs are back to roughing. Looks like Micaiah was spot on with his UCLA comparison. Now, granted, they were playing Hawaii, but that's still a 44-10 win. A game that we didn't care about, but I'm going to tell you the score anyway. UTEMP beat New Mexico State 33, and my San Jose State Warriors, or whatever
I
they're
have
called.
No idea what they are.
I have no idea. Just absolutely trucked Southern Utah 45-14. And a little bit of Sunbelt action. Micaiah, again, you called it. UAB destroyed Jacksonville State 31-0. T. Johnson III, 320 yards in the air. Pretty good.
That Fresno State game, actually, I'm glad you touched on that. They play Oregon this week, so Fresno State's warmed up. They just warmed up their arm, like that kid in the Cam Newton commercial.
With Mac Jones in the Cam Newton commercial, yeah.
Mac Jones and Cam Newton commercial. So Oregon better watch out. They got a tough early test here in week 1 coming up. That is not a game we are touching on. But yeah, well, it gets weird in high school. So a online charter school, high school called Bishop Sycamore, which was founded in 2020, did not win a game in 2020, lied to ESPN,
yep,
and said that they had multiple kids on their roster with D1 scholarships. They were playing IMG Academy, which is the number 2 ranked high school team in
Powerhouse
America. They produce many Division I players. And they played Bishop Sycamore, and they beat them 58-0. But wait, you might say, well, that's, fine. It gets weirder. There is an active warrant out for the Bishop Sycamore head coach. Mm-hmm. Bishop Sycamore played 2 games in 3 days, which is a big no-no for football. Like I said, they haven't won a game, Bishop Sycamore, since their creation in 2020. Mm-hmm. And it is believed that most of the kids on Bishop Sycamore were over the age of 18, and some people believe that many of the kids were JUCO dropouts, junior college dropouts.
Mm-hmm.
And so basically a whole bunch of 16-year-olds beat a whole bunch of grown men. It was weird. Like,
this is what we call a yikes situation.
Yeah, the coach has since been fired. There are charges piling up because of everything that happened. I'm sure ESPN will get into a lawsuit. Technically, it wasn't ESPN. ESPN hires a marketing firm, and they did not vet Bishop Sycamore correctly. Halfway through the third quarter, when it was 44-0, even the commentators said, to be frank, we can't find any of their kids on our nationally ranked databases or any other databases, and this is clearly not a fair fight. So, wacky and wild stuff, and people will do anything for fame.
To be frank, this was 3 people. Just want to give more information. Urinating Tree on YouTube did a really good, basically, hit piece on Bishop Sycamore. Wacky and weird. These guys also tried this earlier in 2018, where they did a online charter school and failed as well. So, don't know what's going on there. Probably check yourself before you wreck yourself, ladies and gentlemen.
And they
if it seems
wrecked.
too good to be true, probably is.
Cam Newton has been released by the New England Patriots. Why is that significant? Well, it's significant because Mac Jones is going to get the starting job. Rookie Mac Jones, the 15th overall pick, the first pick of the first quarterback taken in the first round by Bill Belichick. Why is that even more significant? Because that means that the entire 2018 Alabama quarterback room will start in week 1 of this upcoming NFL season. Jalen Hurts with the Philadelphia Eagles, Tua Tagovailoa with Miami Dolphins, and then Mac Jones here with the Patriots. Also of note, that 2018 Alabama team was loaded. All 5 offensive linemen have been drafted and are on teams. The 4 starting receivers were all selected in the first round, and all 3 quarterbacks, as I previously noted, were all drafted. So, needless to say, they got 1 championship and another championship appearance out of it, and probably it might go down as one of the best teams or rosters of all time.
Oh, he's ready.
Yeah.
I didn't know that's what I can say.
Ben Simmons officially told the 76ers he wants traded. This is not news. The 76ers want to trade him. Problem is, Ben Simmons is playing the victim in this situation when Ben Simmons is not the victim. Colin Cowherd did a fantastic piece on this a couple weeks ago when it was really believed that Ben Simmons wanted out, and when he really started playing the victim right after the season finished back in July. Problem is, Ben Simmons, you have been surrounded with a great roster, a great coach, a great GM. You've been surrounded by shooters, one of the league's most elite center, and if not one of the best big men of the past decade, if not the best big man in the past decade. Ben Simmons, you refuse to shoot a jump shot outside of 15 feet, and your free throw percentage sucks. You always say that you have something new for everyone, but you don't have anything new. You're a great defender, and a great passer, but pretty much you suck at everything else. Don't play the victim. You ain't the victim. Oh, and by the way, no one's buying the victim card. So, good luck to wherever you go. I'm hoping for Dame to Philly, but we'll have to see what happens. And also, this just came across the wire. This is breaking news. The Big 12 plans to send invites to a leading list of candidates to fill the spots that Texas and Oklahoma are vacating in 2025. The current front runners of the list are BYU, UCF, Cincy, and Houston. I'm sure that list will only grow and shrink as time goes on. It could be all 4 teams get an invite, and it could be not every team accepts. I will call early that BYU and Houston will accept. UCF and Cincy, I would encourage them to play it out because, listen, as we touched on, the AAC right now, when Texas and Oklahoma leave, become that 5th best conference. And so that's where we will leave the rundown, and we will get into our predictions for the championship games and picking some playoffs.
That was our final thing. I think we really need bookending sounds for that.
Well, that's your job.
I'm just chatting,
That's not even my job. I am literally just the sexy face, the golden voice, and the encyclopedia of knowledge that is college football. You were brought on to be the tech dude and the post and run the website and the sound bites. And what do you want from me?
I'm trying.
Are you, though? Are you trying?
Because it's garbage.
Alrighty. Well, at least we know it's garbage. We are the worstest podcast on the internet, anchor.fm/4th-and-1. So we made our what teams would make the championship games last week. We will now pick the winners, and then we will pick the 4 playoff teams that we will see in this year's college football playoff.
Go.
You know what? I'm carrying the show. I can't.
How dare you?
Sometimes
I'd like to take this chance to apologize to absolutely nobody. The double champ does what the he wants.
There you go. I'll do it for you.
the thoughts get stuck. Okay, so just
All right, who are you picking? Let's start with the Pac-12 like we did last week. At least I think we did.
did we start with the Pac-12? I don't know. Anyway, I will start with the Pac-12. So Oregon. My 2 teams were Oregon and UCLA.
We did, and we went from the top. We started with.
Well, then why don't we just continue with the Pac-12?
Okay, let's just. I'm fine with it.
Let's go backwards. Why not? Let's just go backwards.
Okay. I love it.
Okay, great. So the Pac-12, I had Oregon and UCLA. I hope that you remember who you picked.
Yeah,
Yeah,
me too.
no, you don't. You don't.
No, I do remember the Pac-12. We're good, though.
I am going to pick Oregon. I think Oregon's been there before. They've been there 2 of the last 3 years. They won it last year. They have the experience. They have a coach that I think at the line of scrimmage, we'll cover this a little bit, UCLA, but they're both line of scrimmage-based teams. They both want to run the football a lot. But I right off the top, I'm just going to go with Oregon.
Yeah, I think you're going to figure out how Oregon season's going to go when they play Fresno tonight. And I know that kind of sounds weird, but they're probably going to, if they smoke them, that's how they're going to be for the rest of the season. If they fight, that's how they're going to be from the rest of the season. So it's no question, though, that Oregon's coming out of the Pac-12. To me, at least.
Oh, what conference is next?
If we're going, let's go backwards with the Sun Belt Conference.
Okay, so the Sun Belt Conference.
We both picked Louisiana
the
out of the West.
Raging Cajuns, and we kind of did chalk here, right? We did Coastal Carolina and the Raging Cajuns of Louisiana. Listen here. It's going to be the Raging Cajuns. Raging Cajuns coming out of the Sun Belt. That is my pick. You know who we rolling with. We rolling with the Cajuns. Here's the thing, though. Louisiana, if that happens, because they are already ranked, they have a shot at a New Year's 6 right off the bat. We're pumped for the Cajuns. Or are you going with the teal turf?
No, we might see Appalachian come out of nowhere in the East, but no, I'm feeling the Raging Cajuns as well. When you have a mascot that cool, you can't go against it.
You can't go against it, and we will be giving weekly updates on the Cajuns. Let's go, Cajuns!
I'm actually writing them down this time.
Oh, okay.
But let me know who you get. Big game. Georgia versus Clemson, right? That is the game week 1, big game. I think you have it in the notes here.
Yep, we're going to do that later.
Georgia versus Clemson. We're going to do it later. But that will set the tone for what the SEC looks like, even though it's an SEC, ACC crossguard. Who you got coming out of the...
comment down below. Like, subscribe, comment who you got this weekend in the big Clemson-Georgia game. You got to type one word. You don't even got to type all the letters. You can just type G-E-O or C-L-E-M. You know, just type something... You don't
just type G and
or
C?
Or C. Yeah. That works. Just type something. It's real simple. It's real quick. Let's go. Come on. Don't be dicks. Comment.
Don't be dicks. We want clicks. Okay.
Ooh.
Who you got coming out of the Southeast?
I think I had Bama and Georgia.
Sounds right.
A little surprise here. Salt Bay action. I got Georgia winning the SEC.
Figured it.
No, it's Bama.
All right, well, you're wrong. Georgia, I think they are... Listen, little preview right here. Georgia returning 8 offensive starters, including their quarterback, and Georgia started to click when they return of J.T. Daniels. Defense will always be there. Bama returning 3 offensive starters. How will that offense play out? I just think Georgia finally gets it done. There is no Jalen Hurts and Tua Tagovailoa to bail out the starting quarterback this time around.
Last year was the year of the modified. Last year was the year of the modified offense. This year of the defense. They had a full year of practices. They had a full year of prep. Bama's the best defense in college football, minus Michigan that one time. And I do mean that one time. So, it's Alabama. We're going to move on because Micaiah's wrong about something. Coming in the Mountain West.
Number 1, how dare you?
Number 1, how dare you?
There you go. Coming in at the Mountain West. Yeah, I don't remember who I picked out of these small ones.
I think I had Boise, and I forget who's in
Fresno, San Jose, Nevada, San Diego.
So I had San Jose State facing Boise. I'm going to roll with San Jose State. They got Nick Starkel, who is an SEC stand transfer. He likes flinging that rock around. Remember, they undefeated last year. San Jose State, start putting some respect on their name. We should probably learn who their mascot is.
They're the Spartans.
The San Jose Spartans. So I got the Spartans coming out of the Mountain West. They will challenge as a Group of 5 school for a New Year's 6.
I'm not, and I'm with you. Unless Fresno shocks us both and beats Oregon tonight, which we don't think they will.
But yeah, I mean, really,
this week.
They could lose to Oregon
and then run the table,
and then
100%.
run the table, and it doesn't matter because they're not in the same division conference.
Yes, they are.
Oregon and Fresno are not in the same conference.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. So, sorry. My B, moving on. I picked San Jose State, too, so moving on to some action, that good old Great Lakes action. Who you got from MAC? I don't even remember. I think you had Miami and... No, I don't. Western Michigan? I don't remember. I honestly don't remember, guys. We're sorry. We're very sorry.
See, this is why we're the worstest podcast on the interwebs, because we didn't even...
You think this is the one thing we would have written down? You know what we wrote down instead? The stuff that had to do with betting.
Sorry, Mom.
Well,
that's the stuff that we wrote down instead.
I think it's more of our picks. Like, who cares about the betting? Is just, a side fun thing. It's more of the picks. All right, let me see here. Hang on. I'm scrolling.
Do.
Yeah, that's right.
So Buffalo
Okay,
lost
so I had the Akron Zips.
What?
No.
You didn't.
No, I had Toledo in 1.
Okay.
Well, I picked Kent State.
That's right. Yep.
And I picked Kent State in Western Michigan. That's who it was.
That's who it was. Who you got?
And I'm going to roll with Western Michigan, and it's the exact same reason I gave last week. It's all flooding back to me because whoever Michigan plays, these MAC teams that Michigan plays in week 1, they go on to have fantastic seasons. That's who it is. So I'm picking Western Michigan.
I don't think I picked them last week to even be in the conference championship. Their coach did leave, but that means that all his recruits came, unless they switched or whatever. I'm picking the Buffalo Bulls coming out. They won last year. New coach, same recruits. You can't go wrong. Or you can, I don't know. No, we don't do the independent.
No, it's Notre Dame, but yeah.
It's Notre Dame, yeah. CUSA.
Conference USA. I had the Blazers against Marshall Thundering Herd. I'm
looking really good.
I'm running with UAB. Off to a great start, beating Jacksonville State. I'm just going to roll with the Blazers. Going from nothing to something, a football program that was dismantled a couple years ago, and they are back.
Yep. They are back. I see no reason. I think I might have picked the Thundering Herd. Again, new coach in there after they fired their coach after they lost the bowl game. Dude didn't resign. Dude was fired. Don't know why. I'm going to pick UAB, though, but it's UAB Marshall and Conference USA Championship. All right, the interesting one. Take a drink to build suspense. Big Ten.
Big Ten, I had the Iowa Hawkeyes.
Yep.
Blah, blah, blah.
Iowa Hawkeyes.
There it is.
Iowa Hawkeyes. Yep, I love it.
Stroke.
Wow.
Iowa Hawkeyes against the Ohio State Buckeyes. Yeah, this is just chalk. This is Ohio State.
Yeah, I just said it was interesting because it's who's coming out of that West. And yeah, I'm with you. There's no question there. Big Ten, it's coming. It's gonna be Ohio State. It sucks. I hate my life. I've been watching. HBO back in the day did a documentary on the Ohio State-Michigan rivalry, and I've been watching that, and I enjoy it.
I have that on DVD.
I thought you did.
Yep.
I thought I've seen it before. Yep. I hate Ohio State with a burning passion of 1,000 suns.
We all do.
But we have to move on. All right, Big 12 conference.
Big 12, I had Oklahoma and Oklahoma State, and I will pick Rock Chalk. Well, no, that's Kansas.
That's
but
Jayhawk.
I will roll with Spencer Rattler. I think he's gearing up for a Heisman run here, so I will roll with Oklahoma.
I think I picked the Cyclones.
I think you did as well.
Because I wasn't believing in Spencer Rattler, so Cyclones, Sooners, I'm still going to double down, be wrong, but double down and pick the lovely guys from Ames, Iowa.
Okay, and that
that leaves the ACC.
Well, we have one more after that. We have
and the American.
Oh, so close.
So close yet so far.
Atlantic Coast Conference. I had Clemson and I had North Carolina, and I am Clemson's won 5 straight. Let's make it 6. I honestly don't think. I think by the time they get to this point, that North Carolina will have lost one bad one. Clemson might have lost bad one, but I believe more in Dabo Swinney than I do North Carolina, just because Dabo's been there before.
Yeah. What Micaiah said, copy-paste both North Carolina. I didn't even pick Duke. I thought Duke was doing better. That's what it was. Yeah, North Carolina. All right. The AAC, the American Athletic Conference, again, breaking news earlier. Some of their players, some of their schools might be leaving. You may see teams like UAB, like the Raging Cajuns. You may may see them getting called up into the American, if that be the case. Who you got here?
I think I had Cincinnati against Memphis.
That sounds right.
I believe, and I am going to roll with Memphis here.
Interesting.
Memphis, over the last 5 years, doesn't matter who the coach is, doesn't matter who the quarterback is, they put up points. And, yeah, I'm going to roll with Memphis. They always got offense no matter who's their coach. They're going to have more offense this year. Let's roll with the Tigers.
I think I had the Bearcats and the Mustangs of
yep.
Southern Methodist. You know what?
Do it.
Haven't seen them in a while.
Do it. Roll it.
SMU.
Yeah.
SMU.
Roll that dice, baby. All righty.
I got Memphis, and we are going to move on to the most excited. I actually broke my fiance's heart when I'm like, hey, babe, I love you.
We got to pick playoff picks out of those.
Oh, we have to pick playoff picks out of these?
It's week 1, baby. It's week 1. We got to hold ourselves to the standard here. We might be the worstest podcast on the internet, but we will hold ourselves to the Sports Opinionist Standard podcast.
You're not wrong. I was telling my fiance that we couldn't go to IKEA this week on Saturday because I had to watch college football.
I was just at IKEA for the first time like a month ago, a couple weeks at the beginning of August.
Yeah.
It's pretty dope.
It's pretty dope, isn't it?
It's kind of weird because you got to take a picture of the label and then like go get the furniture in the warehouse like at the end.
Yeah.
You kind of got to you walk through it like as a straight line through each department, you know.
Yeah.
I guess for people who've been to IKEA, for those that haven't, look it up. It's kind of hard to explain. You start at the front of the store and you can kind of walk all the way through, wind your way through, and then you take pictures of the stuff you want. And then you get it in the warehouse. I didn't like that, but especially since the one dresser that we wanted, by the time we took a picture of it that said it was in stock and we got there later that afternoon, there was nothing there. However, they got all right food for a good price. So,
I didn't try their food because
it's IKEA.
It's IKEA, and I didn't care.
So you watching college football this week, huh?
I will be over at your house.
Oh, will you now?
Yes.
All right.
For at least the 12 o'clock games.
Oh, at least the 12. Well, there's only really one 12 o'clock game that we're going to be watching. You already know it's Hail to the Victors. It's taking on the Broncos, and we'll kind of touch on Michigan there just because, it's our podcast and we're a big Michigan.
We can do what we want, Mom.
You're not my dad. And Mom, I'm sorry.
Come after me. I'm a man. I'm 40.
I'm sorry that the sound bites are too many and you're too used to them. This is what happens when you're a loyal follower. Some things you just get too repetitive,
Well, Dick, here's the deal. I'm the best there is, plain and simple. I mean, I wake up in the morning, I kiss excellence.
Oh, and Mom, I have no idea what defensive driving is. Are you talking about driving a car? Defensive driving defense? Well, what are you referring to in terms of a car? By the way, if for those of you who don't know, I will kind of show it here. My mom sends us reviews. Lengthy reviews of the entire podcast. Okay?
She's garbage.
She's been doing it every week. We've been doing this almost 52 weeks. I have no idea.
Yep.
Pretty close to it, which is a year. Every single week. So she is the number one fan. So those of you who want to be our number one fans,
oh my goodness,
comment down below. Is it going to be Georgia or is it going to be Clemson? G or C? That's all you gotta write. And hit that enter button. Let us know. You don't even gotta like and subscribe. And then she has a whole bunch of opinions on the soundbite. Simeon, that's for you. Take some of these ideas that the number one fan's throwing at us. Do something.
Oh my. Wait,
Mom,
hold on.
oh my goodness.
Mom, you do get credit for knowing that Duke was not in the SEC. Congratulations, you actually remember things. However, you didn't even remember that the biggest key to Oklahoma's success is running the football, so poo on you. Oh, and Mom, by the way, what does it mean when a coach is on the hot seat? Well, can you comment down below and let us know? G or C? Come on, guys. Not that hard. Coach is on the hot seat. That means that they're one bad season away from, or one unproductive season away from losing their job. Basically, it means their seat is getting warm right before they get fired.
The seat is getting hot. All right, so we're going to pick FBS champions here?
Yeah, let's pick the playoff. So I have Georgia.
Okay.
Number 1.
Okay. Plus 500.
I will have Clemson.
Plus 410.
Number 2.
Okay.
I will have Oklahoma.
Plus 820.
And let's see here. I'm actually going to roll with the Mighty Ducks of Oregon just
Plus
because
6,000.
I hate Ohio State.
Yeah, so Ohio State's definitely going to drop one and not going to be able to make it.
At some point, and I'm hoping it's at the big house.
Plus 610. And those numbers are all to win the championship, by the way, that I was saying not to make the playoffs.
Sure.
This is kind of hard, to be honest with you.
No one for sex tape.
That was nice. Good job. Good job. I'm feeling good. Again, Oregon. I think that's a weird lock for me.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So you ain't giving a lock.
If
Long season lock.
I don't believe in Alabama enough, but I believe in Alabama.
Yeah, it's kind of weird, right?
Yeah, it's one of those things. I'm going to put in Iowa State as well.
Oh, okay. Rolling
Two
with the
weird
Cyclones.
ones. Clemson and Ohio State. Alabama.
So you are going to put it. So
I'm going to put Alabama in.
So you got Bama?
Only because I hate Ohio State.
Okay, great. So you should maybe write these down.
Okay, fine.
Maybe.
Hold on. Okay.
Write them down.
Playoff picks. Micaiah picked Oregon.
You literally could just go O-C-O, Oklahoma, N-G. And then whoever
Cool.
you had, because I wasn't really listening.
Wow.
No, you had I-S, that's Iowa State.
ISU. Okay, good job. Then who was my other one?
You had Bama.
Okay. Okay.
Oregon.
Good job.
And Clemson.
And Clemson.
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 Cares!
So those are our 4 playoff teams. Comment down below if you're still here. If you haven't commented who's going to win this weekend, G or C. Who are your 4 playoff teams? Let us know. All right, bud. You know what?
We should let the people. Let's let the people know here real quick before we preview.
Okay.
How'd your picks do last week, bro?
Oh yeah, thanks. So I picked UCLA and Nebraska. Nebraska lost, and UCLA won. However, what I more specifically did is I said that they would hit the under, and they did. So I am 1-2 on the season. Simeon is 0 for 1. Thank you.
Yeah, so I really didn't get this. I thought I was just picking a team that would be a lock to win.
You're lame.
I was wrong.
Yeah.
I picked the San Jose State Spartans.
Which won?
Which won, but I picked the under, because I was expecting, I guess, something from Southern Utah. which didn't appear at all.
Well, no, you were expecting nothing from Southern Utah.
I was expecting defense from Southern Utah, and when you get 45 points on a team,
that's
not defense.
I would have. I mean, the under was okay because I was expecting San Jose State to score a lot, which they did.
I wasn't.
See, I was just expecting San Jose State not to allow the 14 points.
Yeah, this week's pick's gonna be good.
Oh,
it's gonna be a lock.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen, hang on here. Do we got a good lock from the Simmeister?
We got a full slate, and I can't find odds. It's not. I can tell you right now, it's not South Dakota State, unfortunately, because I can't find numbers for them.
Okay,
and it sucks.
All right, well here we go. It's week 1.
We are super excited.
I am previewing the 5, in my mind, biggest games of this weekend. Now, caveat.
Oh, that's not what I wanted. Sorry.
The last game, a lot of people would say, isn't one of the 5 biggest games. I will tell you why, and then I will tell you the 2 other games that made the radar but didn't make my list here. So I have made notes, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, notes are here.
Notes are here. I prepped. I am determined to make this podcast better than last year.
Good for you.
Let's get it started with the nooner game, ladies and gentlemen. You got a soundbite or anything you want to hit me with? Penn State at Wisconsin.
Wisconsin!
So everyone, hang on to your hats, because here we go. So, first and foremost, Penn State is getting 5.5. Penn State returned 7 of 11 defensive starters from last year and 9 of 11 offensive starters. The key, so basically in week 1, I can't, because they haven't played, I can just give you the keys to the game and what I know, and then make a pick based on what of that. Again, you can comment down below. You can DM me. You can let me know I'm an idiot. You can do whatever you want. But here's the thing. I'm just going to let you know what I think based on these results. Also, the crowds are back. Stadiums will be at full capacity unless if you play in UCLA, then no one cares. Did you see that? Literally, It looked like a COVID crowd. There were like 15 people there, and they're allowed to be at full capacity. It was embarrassing because they're even playing at the Rose Bowl. It's one of the most beautiful.
What does Dookie say?
Yeah, that's embarrassing. That's very embarrassing. All right, so here we go. So Penn State, first of all, is getting 5.5. They returned 7 of 11 defense and 9 of 11 offense. Their big key, though, is Penn State plays really well when Sean Clifford doesn't turn the ball over, their quarterback. So can Sean Clifford not turn the ball over? Also, Penn State has always played this home run style of offense ever since Trace McSorley and Saquon Barkley, which is run the ball, run the ball, run the ball, take big swings down the field and hope for something good. So, can Sean Clifford limit the turnovers? That is the key to Penn State success, not only this season, but all season long. Flip it to the other side. Wisconsin, home team, jump around, start of the fourth quarter, gonna be ruckus. They are returning 8 of 11 offensive starters, including their quarterback, Graham Mertz, which in his first game last year went 20 of 21 for 5 touchdowns. Problem is, then got COVID, then came back, then was out of rhythm, and kind of wasn't really all that good. They returned 6 of 11 defensive starters, but Jim Leonard, their defensive coordinator, always has that defense tight and ready to go. You know that it's going to be a great, you're going to get great defense. Wisconsin keys. Are they able to dominate the line of scrimmage when they are on offense and run the ball? Wisconsin has always been big guys up front, pushing them around, letting their running backs do the tricks. And is Graham Mertz actually the 20 for 21 quarterback? A solid, consistent, efficient quarterback? Or was that just one fluke game? Again, we really don't know. But the key for Wisconsin is always defense and running the ball. So, Simeon, with that information that I just gave you, I'm making this up as we go right here. What I'm going to do, I'm going to give you the information. You got to pick the game. Now, this does not go against your locks, and we do not
Track this.
But I'm going to let you go, and then I will give my pick. So, with all that information, Penn State, Wisconsin, who you got?
Okay, so here's what I'm going to do.
Oh, it's number 19 Penn State at
Yeah.
number 12 Wisconsin. So Wisconsin is higher ranked.
Very close. Over under 50, okay?
Yep.
Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to give my pick, and then I'm going to guess your pick, and then you're going to tell me why I'm right or why I'm wrong.
Oh, I love this.
I'm picking the Badgers,
Okay.
and I'm picking the Badgers for they're at home,
Okay.
and I think they're a little bit upset with the down season that they had, and I think they get more upset than Happy Valley does. I also think you're going to pick the Badgers.
You would be right. And I am picking it for all the same reasons you gave. Wisconsin's at home. I think that they are upset. Their defense will be good. Penn State's defense will be good. But Wisconsin at home, run the ball, control the clock. I think that they sneak out of here with a win.
And ladies and gentlemen, we're going to wait for 2 seconds because Makai got to pee.
I got to
We'll
pee,
be back.
ladies and gentlemen.
We'll be back. We'll be right back. And we back.
Not yet.
And
Now we back.
And we back. And we back.
We back. Back. Streets back. All right. Bam, 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 bam. Bam, 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 bam,
That
bam.
was random.
right.
You just told me that you were going to pick Wisconsin,
Yep.
and now you're on to your next big game, which I have pulled up here. And oh boy, is this going to be great football.
Miami and Alabama.
That's not. Oh yeah, it is. Okay. No,
Okay.
that's not going to be as great football. That's the other Big Ten game that I got excited for.
Okay.
Now I'm
Well,
sad. Now
wow.
I'm sad.
Well, you almost said it sarcastically, so I was like, yeah, that works. But anyway, number 14 Miami versus they're playing in the Mercedes-Benz Superdome, I believe.
For the Chick-fil-A kickoff game.
I believe they're still playing in Atlanta. I don't think Hurricane Ida messed anything up.
Everything's dry. I think
Okay.
most of the stores that we had.
Well, New Orleans isn't playing week 1 in New Orleans. They're not playing Dallas.
That's New Orleans.
They have to play in anyway. So number 14 Miami is getting 19.5 points.
They are getting disrespected.
So here's the thing. Miami is returning all 11 offensive starters. De'Aaron King is coming back from an ACL injury, should be ready to go week 1. They are also returning 9 of 11 defensive starters from 2020. The keys to Miami, De'Aaron King coming back from an ACL and living up to the hype, not choking in big games. Every single time Miami has a big game in the past 5 years, they have gagged from choking on it. It is ridiculous. And I'm not trying to be like they lay an egg, and they're playing Alabama, they make a joke that where they are, the stadium they're playing in is the second home stadium of Alabama. It is going to be loud. It is going to be mostly Alabama fans, I'm going to guess. There will be some Miami fans there, obviously. And speaking of Alabama, they're the number 1 team in the country. They're returning 3 of 11 offensive starters because everyone just left for the NFL. They're returning 8 of 11 defensive starters from 2020. That is a key. Just wait for it. The key for them is Bryce Young, brand new starting quarterback. However, over the last 4 seasons, whoever they have plugged in offensively, and really since Nick Saban's been there, whoever they've plugged in offensively, both at the skill, running back, offensive line, and quarterback, everywhere offensively, they have succeeded and they have held their own. But more importantly, the defense, returning 8 of 11 starters. Up and down a little bit. They're always shaky to start the year. A little bit. What scares me is that Miami's basically running the entire 2020 team plus new guys, and they've gotten a year better out there. Right. Okay. So Miami's getting 19.5. Here's the deal. You know what? Yeah, so you know what? Let's just pick and then I'll explain it.
Okay.
So
don't expect Alabama to cover. I think that's what my big takeaway here is. I still pick Alabama to win here on this one. Don't be surprised if Miami fights. Miami's biggest. Don't be surprised if Miami's defense is able to match. Like Micaiah says, Alabama's defense is like an old car or an old motor engine. It needs to get going, and then it's on fire, and then it's reliable, and then it's hitting. Again, it's probably going to be like at most 14 points. I don't think it's going to be 21 points. At most 14 points. If the Hurricanes can keep up, that's what it's going to be. But at most 14 points, 10. I'm going to call it 10 is probably going to be more of what it's like. And I think you're going to pick Alabama for that exact reason with what I just said.
So Alabama has a history of going into playing these bigger matchups week one, getting a huge number like 19.5, and then covering by a wide margin. They've done this many a times. They've done it to you almost every. I mean, they did it to Michigan one year. They did it to USC. They did it to Louisville. They covered it all the time. But here's the thing. It's a brand new offense. Bryce Young can sign his 7-figure name, image, and likeness deals all he wants. They can bring in the new offensive coordinator.
That's not Bill O'Brien, is it?
No, it is Bill O'Brien. They will be reloaded on offense, and they will be fine skill-wise. But, Simeon, you hit the nail on the head. I can't pick Alabama to cover 20 points when Miami's running their entire team from 2020 out there again. Yeah. And they've gotten a year better. Yes, Bama's defense is going to be good. But Miami, you got to figure their defense, which isn't half bad,
right?
Wasn't half bad last year. They got to at least be able to hold Bama down for 2 quarters. So right. then you're giving Bama the second half adjustments. You're giving Bama second half adjustments. I don't see the margin being 20 either. So I am picking Bama, but I am also betting that Miami covers this week because that is when I saw that number, I'm like, that's a huge number.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. Over under 61. Do you think that's an under then? Just out of curiosity before we move on.
No, I think that has a shot to be. I think that has a shot to be over.
Yeah, I could see this becoming like a shootout type game. I could. I don't think it will be, knowing the way they both play. Because they're not
you 61. I mean, that's like right on. I mean, you're looking at. I think this is like a 35-24 type game. Yeah. Which, what is that? 59. So again, you're right there. So I'm gonna hit the under. I'm gonna roll with it because then if Bama is blown, the thing you don't want to see is Bama being blown out by Miami, right? And it's like 44 to 14.
Yeah. And
then Miami gets a garbage touchdown late. That's when I see when they start hitting like the over and stuff. I'm gonna go. It's a closer game than 20 points.
Yeah, we both put like 10.
And they hit the under just barely. However, I'm betting that Miami covers.
It's a big tone-setting game
for Miami. Can Miami finally compete with the highest level competition because they haven't against Clemson? All right, now you can get hyped for the game.
out. His doorbell
My
rang.
doorbell is ringing.
This game, okay. I'll let someone's at the door. We let Google know. I'll let him do that while I talk about this. So this is a Big Ten game. It's Indiana versus Iowa. So 17 versus 18. Iowa, their last 5 games was Minnesota, Penn State, Nebraska, Illinois, Wisconsin. All W's, all 2-point games, all 2-touchdown games. Wins at least, and that was Illinois that they only won by 2. The rest were at least 20-point games for everybody else. Indiana, not so much on the up and coming, gave Ohio State a run for their money, then lost to Ole Miss in a bowl game, it looks like, but gave them a run for their money too. This is going to be hard. I'm interested to see what this is from last season, and they're coming in. I'm interested to see what you did.
All right. So you hit the nail right on the head. So Iowa, before winning all those games by almost double digits, because I think the Wisconsin game was like 14-6. But anyway,
it was 28-7.
They lost 2, then won 6 straight. So here we go. Indiana's getting 3.5. So basically, Vegas is saying it's like a 3-point game. So you got to make. Indiana's returning 7 of 11 offensive starters, including Michael Penix, their quarterback, again, who is coming off of an ACL.
Yep.
Okay?
Weren't they down to like their 3rd string at one point last season?
I think so, kind of to finish the year. That's why they lost the bowl game. They're returning 6 of 11 defensive starters. They are a solid defensive team, but who are losing some big chunks. Now, they have also lost Mike Hart, who was the associate head coach and running backs coach, and the running backs had a lot of success. He comes to the Big Blue in the Big House. Iowa. So they're 17. Indiana 17. Iowa's 18. They are returning 8 of 11 offensive starters and 6 of 11 defensive starters. They had a top 5 national defense last year. It was shut down, and their quarterback, who played solid in a few games last year, Spencer Petras, can they get production? Here's the thing. Iowa loves to throw the ball around the yard. They are a spread you out offense. Iowa is your typical, much like Wisconsin, they want to run the ball, play fundamental defense, play fundamental offense, play action shots down the field. Who are we trusting more? Are we trusting the quarterback coming off of an ACL and an Indiana squad who really, since I've been watching, which has almost been a decade, has not really turned up anything? Or are you trusting Iowa and their head coach and their coach who's been there 20 plus years and that system? They are at Iowa. They're going to give the Children's Hospital a wave at the start of the second quarter, which has become quickly the best tradition in college football. And also, they lost a whole bunch of defensive starters, especially in that second on the front line. I mean, the secondary is veteran though. Simeon, who you got?
I got Iowa. I don't. To me, it's gonna be a fun game. It's gonna be a fun game to watch. It is gonna be that field goal touchdown, last minute touchdown sort of game. I feel like, just because of how the two teams play. I got Iowa. I got Iowa because they've been there before, and for that reason, I think you're picking Iowa.
I'm also picking Iowa.
3 for 3, baby! Let's go!
Let's go! Well, here's the deal, Dick. I'm the best there is. Plain and simple. I wake up in the morning, I piss excellence.
Look, here's the deal. I'm the best there is. Plain and simple. I mean, I wake up in the morning, I piss excellence.
You don't even got to play it. I can just do it, man.
I know.
You can play it on your end. I'll just say the soundbite. Anyway, I am picking Iowa. They are at home. Their coach has been with them 20 years. They've been there before. I also made a note here. Indiana this season has to prove they're not one-hit wonders. That Eastern Division is going to be much better. Penn State's going to be better. Even though I think they lose to Wisconsin here in week 1, Penn State's going to be better. It's just a slight hiccup, and Wisconsin's better than Penn State. Michigan, Lord, I hope they're better. I'm tired of this. Michigan should be better. So that, and Ohio State is Ohio State. Then we have the 2 night games, but we are going to start with not the big night game, the smaller night game. We are going to start with number 16, LSU, going on the road to UCLA. UCLA is getting 2.5 points. I want to make this very clear. Vegas thinks this is a close game. Most people in the SEC, I will guarantee, I have 0 sources, but I guarantee, think that this is a runaway game for LSU. Okay? UCLA has already played 1 game. LSU, their quarterback, Miles Brennan, can he be any good? Okay? LSU was kind of really bad last year. As you would expect, coming off the Joe Burrow year. They are returning 8 of 11 offense, but a whopping 9 of 11 defensive starter. Plus, they got rid of Bo Pelini. One of the worst defenses in 2020, that'd be LSU, gets a major upgrade in defensive coordinator, I'm sure. So can LSU be efficient offensively and be better defensively? Better defensively isn't a question. They're going to be. And for UCLA, already played a game. Going to be at home. It's a 5:30 start their time. So hopefully we'll get more than the COVID crowd out there in the Rose Bowl. This was a Chip, and in week 1, it was a Chip Kelly offense running the ball, 244 rushing yards. Zach Charbonnet brought toughness. The Michigan transfer brought toughness and broke a few big runs. Here's the key, though. Dorian Thompson-Robinson, they call him DTR, was very inefficient, was 10 for 20, 130 yards and a touchdown, had no picks, no turnovers, which is good. But the problem is, to play against a much improved LSU defense, you're going to have to be better than 10 for 20. Chip Kelly's going to bring stuff to the table. Ed Orgeron's going to bring stuff to the table. Simeon. And again, Vegas is only given UCLA 2.5. Who you got?
This is a 7 or 10 point game. I think you're going to be hitting the over on the 65, and here's why. I think it's going to be a lot more high powered than we think it's going to be. LSU fell apart at the end of last season. The only reason that Florida didn't beat them was because a kid threw a shoe, and they won by 7 in the fog down in the bayou. So, but at the same time, they probably played Alabama the best that anybody played Alabama, which is shocking. And their 2 losses last year were to Alabama and Texas A&M. But you're 100% correct. Much better secondary that you're playing. DTR is going to be playing against one of the, if not the best secondary in college football. Your big guys, Southern. It's not a question for me. LSU, just because they're realer, they're better. Again, I don't think anybody's going to show up because it's California, and I think for that exact reason, I think it's going to be 7 or 10 points. Okay, maybe 65 hitting the over is stupid for that one, but still, and I think for that reason, you're going to be picking LSU.
This game is, can UCLA, which team runs the ball? Which team wins the line of scrimmage? It's been that way. We know this already, right? But specifically for UCLA, can they run the football and get that play action going? Can DTR do it? You're wrong, my sir. I'm rolling with the UCLA Bruins.
Whoa.
They're at home. I expect the crowd to at least fill that thing 50%, make some noise for it. You would think that they would get a fuller stadium with LSU coming to town. DTR is going to play better. Chip Kelly has tape to improve. I think that first week they can now kind of fine tune it. This is not a knock on UCLA LSU having a down year again. I'm backing up my talk. I think Chip Kelly is the difference. And with the fact that Vegas only made this 2.5, I'm very confident in it. So I'm rolling with UCLA and DTR and that rushing attack to pull out a close 5-point win.
5 point. Okay. And Zach Charbonnet was a very good running back at Michigan. Was surprised when he left. So yeah, don't be surprised if he finds creases.
You won't be surprised when he left when you see Blake Corum.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
That's all I'm gonna say.
that checks out. All right. This one's interesting. This one
Are
is.
we just giving up on the sound bites halfway through here?
Oh my gosh. Here. There's your.
Okay, great. The big time night game. This is in Charlotte. This is, you can make the argument if Alabama's second home is Atlanta, Georgia, then Clemson's second home is Charlotte, North Carolina, where they play the ACC championship game. That's exactly where this is going to be. Georgia fans travel well. We covered that last week. Clemson fans are going to be there. You know that. Clemson's defense got torched in the semifinal last year. Georgia is always a solid quarterback away from making the college football playoff and winning a championship. Let's start with Georgia. Georgia getting 2.5. They are number 5 in the nation to start the season. 8 returning offensive starters, 5 returning defensive starters. Do not let that scare you. Kirby Smart always has a top 10 defense. And the keys for Georgia, exactly what I said. Can they get offensive production? 10 JT Daniels, who played well at the end of last year when they started rolling a little bit, continue that. And defense, is the defense going to be solid? That's the only question. They are playing Clemson, the number 3 team ranked in the nation. Oh, and don't expect whoever loses this game to fall very far in the standings, because I expect this to be a 5-point game all the way till the final whistle. Returning 5 offensive starters, new running back, wide receivers, and quarterback. But returning 9 of 11 defensive starters, including Stowski, their middle linebacker. He's a 6th-year super senior. Don't know how that happens, but it does anyway. They're returning. Their secondary is going to be better. This is going to be just this defense has a chip on its shoulder, again, from the torch job that they gave up against Ohio State. DJ Uiagalelei, their new quarterback, takes over for the much-heralded Trevor Lawrence.
Second coming of Jesus Christ.
And can the offense get production? Big games, quarterback run is always important. Problem is, last year when Trevor Lawrence was out, but DJ stepped in, threw for a freshman record in his first start against Notre Dame, 405 yards. They didn't really run him. So is DJ going to run? This is a tough pick. This is a close game. Hopefully Kirk Herbstreit and Chris Fowler finally get a close game, because every game they did last year was 20-some points. Every single game they did was 20-some points. So I'm praying for a game into the fourth quarter. Send me in. Who you got?
This one's hard for me because my brain wants to pick Georgia. My gut wants to pick Clemson. I think I'm going to go with my brain and regret to live my decisions. I think it's going to be Georgia. I do think it's going to be close. I think it's going to be extremely close. Only picking Georgia because I'm not sure about Uiagalelei. Did I pronounce that correctly?
Uiagalelei.
Uiagalelei.
Yeah.
There's a couple L's in there that throw.
Yeah, it's the lele, and I think it's the ung sound, but it might be the ug sound. So it might be DJ Uiagalelei, but I'm pretty sure it's DJ Uiagalelei.
Listen, good, more like Deshaun Watson, less like Trevor Lawrence of a quarterback when I watched him last year. Again, it really depends on what he did this offseason. I think you're going to be picking Georgia. I'm picking Georgia. I think you're picking Georgia.
I am picking Georgia because their defense is solid, and so Clemson has a chip, and I believe this is going to be a great game. Clemson's going to be in it, and they might flop. Georgia might go to 3, and then Clemson might go to 5 or even 4. Like, I'd be totally fine with that. I just think Georgia, after making the championship game and then being right in there for 2 seasons and then having a down year and not knowing, they finally got a quarterback. They're returning 8 offensive starters. Their defense is going to be solid. I just have too many open-ended question marks that I don't think will be question marks at the end of the season for Clemson. But to start the season, I don't like question marks. And so I'm rolling with Georgia Bulldogs. I'm getting 2.5, but I'm picking them outright. I'm taking the money line. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, this is a full slate of games. So that's who we're picking. We will keep tabs on how I do throughout the year, how Simeon does throughout the year. Real quick, before we get to Simeon's lock of the week, another couple other games that didn't quite make my must-watch games. North Carolina at Virginia Tech. That is Virginia. It's at Virginia Tech. Gonna be loud. That's tomorrow night. I will be tuning in because I have off. Carrie's not home. North Carolina. Sam Howell. You got to get this thing rolling right away. There's no time to waste. Also, sneaky good game. A lot of people don't know. 23 Louisiana at number 21 Texas.
It's the problem. If that was a home game for Louisiana, watch for the upset.
I'm taking the Raging Cajuns. I like them. Listen, Texas has to.
Right there without a quarterback and a new coach.
Texas has a new quarterback, and a new coach. Texas has got to prove it to me. The Raging Cajuns been there, done that.
Yeah.
So Raging Cajuns act like it. I think people will then set a narrative that this is same old Texas. You can't do that with a new coach and a new quarterback. I think Sark will get this thing rolling by the end of the year, but you got to give him some grace.
Hungry to eat. If I'm the Raging Cajuns, put some spice on them, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
You gotta eat. And that was a game that if you weren't going to point out, I was going to point out as well.
And finally, this was the one I almost added, is Notre Dame at Florida State. I'm adding this because Florida State was solid to start the season and then kind of fell apart at the end of the season after their win against North Carolina. Notre Dame walking into Florida State. They're gonna be doing the tomahawk chop. They're gonna be loud. They got it going on. It's at night. Notre Dame, last time they played on Labor Day weekend at an unranked opponent, and they were highly ranked coming in, was Texas is back, folks. When they played Texas and lost, this is Mike Norvell's 3rd season. He's got this thing. I think he has this thing going a little more. And the spread isn't very big. I don't think the spread is big at all.
Sorry.
Listen,
the spread is a score 7.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly my point. So I am taking. Well, not that you asked, but I would take Florida State to cover. I really would. I just have a feeling about this Labor Day weekend. There's always unranked teams. Real quick on Michigan, because I can't go an episode without talking about the Big Blue here. Michigan is returning 3 offensive starters and 8 defensive starters. It's all going to be how about the quarterback is going to play and can they run the football. I think that they'll be able to run the football, but can Cade McNamara, who's the high school record setter in the state of Nevada, can he come in and be a distributor? Can this offense finally get going? And can new defensive coordinator Mike McDonald finally show a multiple look and make a solid defense where skilled wide receivers aren't running down the sideline off press man-to-man coverage? However, Western Michigan brings all 5 returning offensive line starters and the most efficient quarterback from 2020. The line is 17. I think then Western Michigan might cover. Also, the over-under 65, 62, something like that. That might be higher because Michigan's defense is going to take a while for a new system to get going. Offensively, I want them clicking right away. They've got to put up at least 35 plus in week one. I hope so. So my outlook on Michigan this year, we're talented enough to win 9 games. And I just hope we close the gap on Ohio State.
There's a lot of interesting games that I'm going to want to see at the end of this, like Sunday. Well,
Sure.
What we see Sunday, I'm interested to see. But I'm going to go straight into my pick of the week.
Yeah, Simeon's lock of the week.
This one, I understand what's going on now, and I dug, and I'm like, is it San Jose? Is it Louisiana? You know, is it Miami? Who is it? I couldn't get South Dakota State. So you know what I found here?
What'd you find?
A little known school in the hot Southwest. They're playing Southern Utah.
Again, you're going back to the well with Southern Utah?
Well, I'm going back to the well with the Sun Devils of Arizona State.
Oh, okay.
Hey, let's see if I got logged out of it, so I have to click on the game. The line is 45.
The over-under?
And the over-under is 56. Ladies and gentlemen, we're talking a team last year that apparently hates their rivals more than Michigan hates Ohio State and vice versa. Blew out Arizona by 63 points. You had such a chance to score a touchdown and then throw it out and, score 69 anyway. Expect that to go hit the over on that. My lock is Arizona State Sun Devils beating the Southern Utah Thunderbirds and smashing the over.
So what is the over again?
The over is 56 points.
That's what the over was last week. Well, right around there. It was like 54 because you only missed it by like 4 points. Like, solid lock of the week. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, you've heard it here. Lock bet the over on Arizona against Southern Utah, which is 56 points. Let's get into the final segment. What am I watching this weekend?
Do you want to transition?
I mean, I would like one. Yeah.
We gotta get new transitions.
Well, you know what? Again, that's on you, bro.
Job.
That's
Yeah,
literally your job.
Which games are you watching? We know you're watching college football, so what are you watching?
All right. So everyone knows what games I'm watching this weekend. I gave you them. The 5 games. I really can't watch any more than 5 or 6 games. I mean, I can on a tablet, but I don't intake any information, and I really don't enjoy it. I will be checking in on all these games, and I will be watching parts, if not all, of these games. Plus, I would be watching additional games on top of that, checking in on my phone and things like that. I will be watching the Michigan game first and foremost because go blue, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
However, I'm going to go somewhere else. What I'm watching this weekend is Shang-Chi, The Legend of the Ten Rings, the new Marvel movie, which drops. I'm a huge Marvel fan. We're both huge Marvel fans, so that's what I am watching this weekend, hopefully going Sunday or Labor Day. Everyone knows that I'm going to be watching college football Saturday, Sunday, and possibly some of Monday. And everyone knows what games I'm going to watch, so that's what I'm watching. Shang-Chi, The Legend of the Ten Rings. Get it. Book it. Should be a baller movie, I'm pretty sure.
So, what am I watching this weekend? I'm looking at the FCS because I can.
Oh.
But I'm not actually going to be watching any of them. But also, James Madison, Morehead State, that's going to be a good game. Anyway,
Sure, yeah.
I'm going to list the few games that I would watch that Micaiah didn't mention if I had more than one head. And I'm just going to mention these quick 5 off the beaten path real quick. Penn State, Wisconsin.
Yep.
That's Penn State at Wisconsin. Should be an interesting game for those of you who are interested. Fresno State, Oregon is another one. That's an early game for Pac-12 and is on the Pac-12 network. It's an 11 a.m. game for Oregon. Normally they're playing later in the evening. He already mentioned Louisiana, Texas. I will be watching 4:30 Fox. That is 3. The SMU, no, not that game. I'm sorry. I had them here. I swear that I'm better. Oh, Montana, Washington. Big restructuring in the FCS this season. A lot of the teams transitioned into there's a powerhouse. There's two powerhouse conference basically. The one with Montana and North Dakota State, North Dakota, South Dakota, South Dakota State, and then this other one in the bottom. So that should be an interesting game because I don't think Washington's as good as people think that they are.
Well, they play Michigan next week, so this is also kind of a warm-up because they travel to Michigan next week.
Yep. And my fifth and final game, I'm not going to give you because I'm not just pulling something out of my butt because I tried to do better.
Here, I'll give you one. San Jose State taking on USC.
That's gonna okay.
Here we go.
That's a 1 p.m. local time game. That's at the Olympic Coliseum there in downtown Los Angeles. Should be a fun game.
Yeah, again, Nick Starkel throws the ball around. Yeah. So does USC and Keaton Slovis. So listen. College football is the most wonderful time of the year. You can say it about Christmas time. You're wrong. If college football was at Christmas time, it would be the most wonderful time of the year. But we are at the most wonderful time of the year. We are also at the end of the episode. Thank you, everyone, so much for listening. Again, anchor.fm/4th-and-1. Wash your hands, you filthy animals. Cases ramping back up, so wash your hands. Enjoy your college football Saturday, everybody. Comment down below, G or C. Let us know. I'm Micaiah. That is Simeon. We will see you all next week. Go Blue!